Third night. On the third night, when the moon rose once more above the silent palace, and the lamps glowed like gentle stars, Scheherazade bowed her head and began her tale. She said, "O king, the heart of a tale is like a treasure chest. Open it, and wonders rise like birds. Hear now the story of the second old man and the two black dogs." She continued, "It is told, O king, that in a distant city there lived 3 brothers, sons of one father and one mother. The eldest was wise and fair. The younger 2 were clever but proud. When their father died, he left them equal shares of his wealth and his good name. They swore to remain united. But envy, O king, grows even among brothers. The younger 2 soon tired of the eldest's advice. They said, 'Give us our share in gold, for we will travel by sea and find our fortune.' The eldest warned them of danger, but they would not listen. They sold their portion, joined a charming sea captain, and sailed away. The eldest stayed behind and worked hard. In time, his trade prospered, and his name was honored in every market. One spring, he loaded his ship with fine goods and set sail to meet his brothers, hoping to embrace them again. But fate had written otherwise. He found their ship ruined at anchor, and their fortune lost. The deceitful captain had stolen their money and fled. Ashamed and desperate, the younger brothers wandered the docks like beggars. The eldest brought them home and said kindly, "Rest here, for this house is still yours." But jealousy does not sleep, O king. Though he forgave them, their hearts still burned. When he later planned a voyage, they begged to join him. Trusting them once more, he agreed. The sea was calm, the winds gentle, and for 40 days they sailed in peace. On the 41st day they reached a green island, surrounded by clear waters. They went ashore to rest, and there, beneath the shade of palms, they found a veiled woman sitting alone upon a stone. She rose and said, "Peace upon you, travelers. I am a castaway, the last of my people. Take me with you, and blessing shall come to your ship." The brothers looked upon her with suspicion, but the eldest pitied her and said, "Come with us, and you shall be safe." They lifted anchor at sunset, and from that night, fortune favored them. The winds were steady, the food fresh, and the sea calm. The younger brothers whispered, for jealousy had found a home again in their hearts. One night, under the lantern's glow, the woman came to the eldest and said, "O honest man, I must tell you the truth. I am not as I appear. I am of the jinn, a believer who means no harm, and I was sent to test your heart. You showed mercy when others would have turned away, and so I will protect you. But beware, for the envy of your brothers burns bright." The eldest was astonished, but thanked her. She warned, "Be cautious, for danger is near." Before dawn, as he slept, his brothers rose and cast him into the dark sea. The water closed above him, and he prayed to God for mercy. Then a great wave lifted him and carried him to a distant shore. There stood the veiled woman, now shining with the light of the unseen. "Fear not," she said. "I saved you from death. Your brothers sleep on the ship, dreaming of their sin. Will you choose revenge or forgiveness?" He said, "Mercy is greater than vengeance." "Then sleep," she said, "and rise with the sun." She touched his brow, and he fell into a deep slumber. When he awoke, he was once again aboard his ship. His brothers were tied to the mast, and the woman stood at the front of the vessel, her veil glowing in the dawn. "You are safe," she said, "but remember my warning. The storm in their hearts is not yet quiet." He untied them and said, "Brothers, let us forget the past. We are one again." They kissed his hands and swore to be faithful. For a while, they kept their word, and the sea was kind to them. At last, they reached their homeland. The eldest divided their earnings equally and gave them rooms as before. That night, as the candles faded, the woman of the jinn appeared one last time. "I must return to my kind," she said, "but I will leave a gift and a warning. For 10 years, your brothers will harm you no more, for I shall mark them with my sign. But if their envy returns, do not shelter it again." She raised her hands, and a cool wind filled the house. The brothers cried out, and before his eyes, their forms changed. 2 black dogs now lay where they had stood, silent and trembling. "They are not destroyed," she said. "They are taught. 10 years they shall walk as beasts under your care, so they may learn humility and faithfulness. When their hearts have changed, I shall lift the curse." "It is a harsh fate," he whispered. "It is mercy," she replied. When the old man finished his tale, the demon bowed his fiery head and said, "Your story speaks of justice and mercy. I grant what you ask. 1/3 of the merchant's life shall be yours to save." And so, the merchant's hope was renewed. Then the 3rd old man stepped forth, his mule standing beside him. He said, "O mighty spirit, hear my tale, and if it surpasses the others, grant the final 1/3 of this man's life in my name." Scheherazade looked toward the king and smiled softly. "But, O king," she said, "the tale of the 3rd old man and the gray mule, that is a story for another night." And the king, caught once again between wonder and curiosity, spared her life for one more day. Thus ended the 3rd night.